now. So if you're building a house, you need the land where you're going to build the house. Sorry, you need the land where you're going to build the house, which is the land is just like the hosting server, the server where you're going to host the website. So the land, so you can use a reference of a land. Then the blocks you're going to put together, you can take it as like your HTML. Then also the CSS is like more of like you painting the walls of the building or the house. Then the JavaScript, Python, they're like more of like the backend, like you running pipes and electrical circuits around the house. So let me start with Visual Studio, setting up of Visual Studio. So first thing first, you can just search for Visual Studio. Visual Studio Code, yeah. So you click on their site for you to download it and set it up on your system. So come here, then read through. You can actually look for in order to not make things too long, sometimes the best thing to do is just to search for download, just type download Visual Studio Code. So yeah, this is much more faster and easier. So can I see the one for Windows, Linux? You can see the one for the MacBook, here. So currently I will have installed it on my system, but I already have it installed already. Um, so it's pretty easy. It's pretty easy. So from there, the next place we're going to go to is on the assignment. That will give us a quick recap on the assignment. So to basically the first step is to open our text editor, which is like the notepad. Okay. So first things first, I'm going to open my Visual Studio Code. Okay, I have it opened already. I have this opened already. So I hope you all have access to the notes, so you can see the steps of the instruction I'm taking. Or let me display it to the screen here so we can see it. Yeah. So okay. So right here we have the first step is to set up the HTML file. So I'm going to set up an HTML file. So I've opened Visual Studio. In my Visual Studio, I'm going to create like a new file, and I'll call it um, index.html. Or the best thing first, let me start it from the scratch so you can see I've closed the Visual Studio. Now I'm going to open Visual Studio now. I'm going to open it. So open Visual Studio, okay. I'll create the homework. So I've created a folder called homework. So inside that folder, okay, I'm waiting for the folder to be created. Okay. Sorry, my Visual Studio Code is updating. It's actually updating. So while we wait for it to complete the update, I'm going to show you based on the explanations from the last class, how HTML, CSS, JavaScript, how they all work together. So you can imagine, let me just show you a website. So like this is a website now. I'm on a website page here, right here now. So now I'm trying to um, let you have an idea the mechanics behind these things. So I want to log in here. Okay, I'm going to log in here. Let me log in. I want to log in. So imagine me typing the wrong email or password. I get an alert. So this alert here is responsible by JavaScript. This is the handwork of JavaScript. You know, it's JavaScript to help you with some kind of animated informations. You know, you can use JavaScript for that. So then the CSS, the coloring, you see the colors we have here, the green is the work of the CSS, the styling, the look and feel is powered by CSS. So I'm going to fill a form right now. I'm going to create a survey, and I want everybody in the class to participate in this survey. So while we wait for our Visual Studio to complete update. So, okay. So I want to create a survey. So I'll click on survey design. Then I click on start new survey. Let's get started. So we're going to create this is the title of the survey right here. So right now, this button I'm going to click. So this is powered by JavaScript. It's JavaScript that is making this possible for the button to be for this thing to be animated. You know, like it's showing that it's loading right here. It's the power of JavaScript. That's the power of JavaScript. You know, power of JavaScript. So why the HTML the HTML made it possible for us to put the basic structure on ground, which we are going to talk about today, using headers, using header tags and section tags and the rest. So click on create. Okay. So I was not able to submit it because of we had to make sure that all the fields are complete. All these fields are completely filled and completely filled. That's why. So I'm going to create a new project now. So the project is being created. Okay. So I just want you to have an idea on how a web application work, how HTML, CSS, and JavaScript and Python. You know, the last bootcamp we discussed about Python. So I'm going to show you how all these things are playing together so that you're going to have a picture of how these things work together, not just me talking. You know, I have to show you some real life examples. So these are like real life examples right here. So right now I'm going to create a question. Let me just say only one question. Yeah. So you can actually use this to create surveys, and I want everybody in this class to participate in the surveys. Yeah, and welcome to everyone welcome to those who are just joining the class. Welcome, welcome. Yes, Dockers, you can open a new folder from Visual Studio and create a file inside it. So I'm going to show you on how I'm going to do that. So I'm going to select this question here, import the question. So now the question is being created now. So I'm going to launch this survey and I want everybody in the class to participate in the survey. I'm going to launch the survey. So now this is JavaScript. So those animations you see on the screen is JavaScript that makes it possible. So the JavaScript that makes it possible. See this animation, JavaScript. So they are all working together. JavaScript, CSS, HTML, they are all working together. So that what makes the web application. So I'm about to launch the survey now. So I'm launching it now. Okay, now I've launched my survey now. So I'm going to drop a link in the chat box for everybody to participate. So copy the link. So everyone, so just gonna have about like 10 seconds to participate on this survey. So I just dropped the link. So please click on the link and fill the survey. Check the chat box for the link to the survey. I don't know who was able to have an idea of what I was explaining using this application. Was anyone able to have an idea? Okay. Williams. Okay. Ibrahim. Okay. Adinka. Okay. Aziz. Okay. Good to hear. Okay. Someone has filled the survey, so let's check. So I think I'm going to close the survey now so we can quickly do a quick recap on last week's class. So just want you to have an idea of what it takes or how this app or how HTML, CSS, JavaScript, how they work together to give you a website like this or give you a product like this. So I'm going to close the survey now. Yeah, survey has been closed already. Okay. Okay, wow. We have about 75. Okay, 75. So firstly now, so now right now after the survey is being conducted, now we need the reports. So how are we going to get the reports? We're going to help the reports with the help of the backend. So from the backend of the application, the report has been calculated, analyzed already. And this is possible with the help of Python because Python helps is very good when it comes to data management or analyzing data. So we're going to go with the methodology reports. So meanwhile, at the back end, Python is actually helping us to analyze the survey and give us a report based on the survey. So now we're going to view the report that has been and build field. Sorry, we're going to view the methodology report. So now I'm downloading it now. So this is what it looks like. This was all done with the help of data, Python. Python uses data, you know, uses data, manipulates data. You can use Python to clean the data. So it's very, very powerful. So if you took the last bootcamp on Python, congratulations, because this is going to help you advance more by the time we finish this class. You have a picture of what you want to do and bring your thoughts into reality. So this is just, you help us do some calculation and analyzing of the data. Yeah. Mm. So now let's go back to the assignment for last week class. So let's quickly do a quick recap. So last week we talked about setting up your VS Code, your environment. So I'm going to create a new folder called homework. Homework, yeah. So I've created a new folder called homework. Um, create a file called index.html. Index.html, yeah. I'm going to copy, okay. Start by writing a basic structure. So we're going to write a basic structure here. I don't need to retype it again, so I'm just going to copy paste because since I'm doing a recap from last class, okay, title. So I've added the title here, my first page. Okay, they said inside the body section, we should add the H1, H2 tag. So the H1, we can put welcome to my first page. Then the subheading, the H2 will be about me. So like as I said in the assignment, each one here. Okay. Then the H2, the subheading, just asked, should be about me. About me. The paragraph, okay, introducing your interest. Another paragraph for hobby, okay? So I'm putting, as I said, a paragraph. Okay, so what's the next step here? Okay, paragraph, introduction of myself, okay, and hobby, okay, okay. Um, I am Samuel. Then the next paragraph is my hobby. Um, so, so okay, list. Um, so, okay, where was I? Yeah, the create an unordered list. Okay, so I want to create an unordered list now of the things I like. Um, UL tag and putting the list. Okay, then the last part is okay, there's a bonus here. Okay, last part is one of the part adding a link here. Okay. Then the bonus here is adding an image. Okay. So I'm going to copy that from the last class. So because of time, copy the image here. So I'm going to add an image here. Yeah. So I've added an image here. So now I'm going to save this now. I've saved it. Now I'm going to load it up in the browser. Um, so I'm going to work. So now this is just a quick recap of the last class, what we did last class, and this was the homework that was being given. Click on OK. This link I kept was not correct, so that's why. Then open. Let me check on that. Why is it not opening? So save it. Yeah, it's open Google. Okay. So now I made a mistake somewhere around. I think I made a mistake. Yes, I did make a mistake somewhere around there. Can somebody on line 10? Can someone tell me the mistake that was being made here? I made a mistake somewhere here. Yes, Johnson, that's correct. Stephen, that's correct. Yes, Oba, you can use editors like Notepad, which is already installed on your computer, yes? No, the div tag was a mistake, so I removed the div tag. Yeah. Yes, the closing tag, yes, the closing tag. Yes, I can see everyone is yes, I did not close the paragraph. I can see that everyone is following. Okay, so now let's go to today's class. Yeah, so let's go to today's class. This was all what we did last week. This was a recap of what we did last week. So now let's go to today's class now. So today we'll be talking about, we'll be diving deeper into HTML structuring, and we need semantic tags. I know somebody was asking me the question, why do we have the div tag here? So right now, you know the reason why, where we need to use a div tag and span and different types of tags. These are structural. These are used for, these are structural. These are used for structuring in HTML. So for example, here, we have like the header, we have navigation. Navigation is basically where we put in the links, the links of the pages. You know, we put them together in a nav section. I'm going to be inside the header. So let me do a sample with that. Now I'm creating another folder. So to the folders, I'm going to call the folder week 2. Week 2 is going to be the name of the folder. Week 2 is going to be the name of the folder. So I'm creating a new file called index.html. So now, like, you know, I've told you that this is, you can also relate web development to like constructing a house, building a house together. So in order for you to build a house, you need blocks. And it's not just about blocks. You have to have an idea on how to structure and restructure those blocks. So so also in HTML, it's not just us using HTML, we have to learn how to use the tags and how to restructure those tags. You know, so for example, now we're going to start with the header, which is saying, okay, we're going to start with the header first of all. So, um, time. Sorry, I don't want to type the tag again from the beginning. So this is the basic structure we need. Let me clear everything. Basic structure we need. So the title of this page will be called week 2. Week 2. So we are starting with towards the header. Like I said, we must always close it. Open and close it. So we start with the header tag. So inside the header tag, what's the next step now? The next step is what? For navigation. So I'll just copy and paste this inside here. So we have the nav means navigation. So that means everything inside this tag is all about navigation, navigating them between different pages, you know. Yeah, so navigation is specify a section that contain navigation links to other parts of the website, like I've said. So let's also add the service and contact. Copy this and paste it. So the next step is called section. So section, let me go show you an example of sections. Let me go to the website. So now, as we have this website here, so these places are sections. Like now, this unlock your potential. This unlock your potential with our tools is a section. Is a section on its own. The video here too is inside like a section tag. So there are sections. Sections. So this is what we're going to do now. So we're going to now make use of what section here called our service. But that'll be outside of the header tag section. So see like our service, like H2, like the subheader paragraph. So next is what? Okay, now the next one we are going to do is what? The footer. So as we have the header, so normally on every website, this is always the header. This part here is always the header from the top. Is always the header. So inside the header, we have the navigation links. Like you can see these links here: home, product, about, learning. They are inside. They're always inside the header. So now we are talking. Now I want to do the footer. So this is what we call a footer under here. This is the footer. So now I'm going to create a footer. So I'm going to add like the footer here. So normally the footer is always below. It's always below. Hold on. So we're going to put the footer tag here. I hope we are all following the notes so you can follow with me as we are going. So I'm going to copy this footer tag here. Copy the footer tag and drop it inside. Yeah. So I'll drop in the footer tag here. So you can see this P here is for the paragraph. So this one is for copyright to show that, okay, this is copyright 2024 to my website. Then this one, normally most websites, they put like a privacy and policy page here. They put the link to the page here. So What's the next step now? So before we go into tables and forms, before we go into tables now, I'm going to refresh this page. Was it okay? Not this page, yeah. That was the week two, into week two. So basically, this is what we've done. This is the footer here, and this is the header. Yeah, you can see in the header, all the links are located in one place. And in the footer, we have this here, the copyright 2024 my website. So basically, if we are using, if when we apply CSS, we can be able to shift this one down properly and make everything properly well fixed. Well fixed. So let's move on now. So, okay, so the last three steps of what we did, okay, we have the header, which is which all of them are called semantic tags, semantic tags. We have the header, like as I did here. We have the header here, the header section, the header here. These are semantic tags, the structure. The header, we have the section here, and we have the footer. So remember I said this is for commenting, to explain when you're writing your code and you want it to be explanatory. You can do tags here. They can do something like a tag. This is the header. Then we come here. No. This is the section. So we have footer here. So these are the three sections we just talked about, the three parts we just talked about. So this one is not going to show in the front on the browser because it's commented out. So it's not going to show. So that's why we have this. It's not going to show. It's just like a comment. So I'm going to save it now. And you see, by the time I refresh the page, you would not not even see you would not even see those changes, those comments I made. You won't see them there. No. So now let's move into table, table. So for the special characters, we talked about that in our last class. Let me quickly do a real recap on those special characters. So for example, now you can see this here, this copyright here is 2024. If you check the code, you can see the here right here. We did this copy here is actually the copyright that was being written there. So now we go to tables. So to start tables, if you want to do like a column and a row. So in the table tag, we have normally we all know that table is all about column and rows. We have rows, we have columns. So and we can also add like yeah, we can also add like an header if we want to, but basically we need to put like create a column first of all. So for the table basic structure, this is what the table's basic structure looks like. Start with a table. Inside the table, it starts with, hold on. So I'm going to create a table. So, so in table here, we have the TR. TR is for defining the rows, the rows of the table. Then TH is for what? Defining the header of the table. Then we have TD. TD helps us to what? Define the standard, the cells which the data will be kept in, the cells of the data. So then additional table elements, like we have the head, we have head that wraps the table header row. When we have the body that wraps the body of the table, then we have foot that wraps the footer of the table. So, so I'm going to create a table now. So something. Well, I just want to check something. Then we'll do something much more. I know this might look complex, but I just want to show us something. Then we'll do something very, very simple. Very, very simple. So just to have, let us have a look of what it looks like having a table. You can see. So now, this is like a table now. Inside this table here, we have the tags. The tags, we have the descriptions, we have the placements. So the tag descriptions, they are columns. They are columns. But let me look for something much more clearer. Hold on. I want to look for something much clearer. Um, Hold on. Um, so, okay. So, so we can see here, we can see here, this is a table. So what this table is all about is, this table is what? Is for explaining the HTML tags, the basic HTML tags. So we can start on row one. This is on row one. Row one is explaining what? Is explaining HTML. Say HTML, and this is the description, the root element that wraps all content of the document. Then where do we place it? We place it at the top level. So this is the head. You can see we can use table for an explanatory purpose. So can somebody give me an example of a table you want me to you want can someone give me an example so I can use a table to explain it? Maybe give me something basic that I can use a table to explain. Can someone give me something? Anyone? I just need an idea on what to create. I'm waiting. Okay. Okay, I should create a table with 5 rows. Okay. Oba said 4 columns. Okay. Okay, I'll create a table with 4 columns and 4 rows. Yes, very good. Ibrahim, you've given me a good example. Students and their marks. Okay. Students and their marks in a math test. Okay, so that's what we're going to create a table with students and their marks in a math test. And we're going to be using 4 columns and 4 rows. So we're going to create that quickly. So now, normally the reason why this table is looking beautiful this way is because I applied CSS, but we're not going to do CSS today. CSS will be in the next class, in the week 3 class coming up. That's when we're going to do CSS, because you can see the reason why I kept the comment here, CSS. It means I'm going to write the CSS here. So I don't want to go into deep into CSS for now, but that will be for the upper class. Next week, we'll go deep dive into it. So now let me create a table based on the request. So um, Okay. Oh, we're already going with the student and the marks. We're going with that one already. Math test. Okay. So I'm going to create a basic table for this. Yes, we can add grades too. Okay, don't worry, it's not going to be confusing. I'll make sure I'm going to take it step by step for us to understand this. Okay, I'm going to take it step by step. I can't just put it all in our face like that, step by step, step by step, step by step. So I just want to do a very simple, something very simple. So now I'm going to clear this one away. I'll clear this one away so we don't get confused here. Clear this one away. Mhm. So let's start here. Okay, let me just start. Let me make it fresh. Start from the beginning, step by step. So we are starting with the table tag. Yeah, table tag, first of all. So what's the next step for us? The next tag is the header. We're going to add the head. That's the columns. Head here. I'm going to close it to here. Close it. Head here. So we're going to create like a column. Yeah. So what I said the tr tag is for rows. Like what is the tr tag for? Let's check the notes. The tr tag, yeah, so the tr tag is for what? A table row. And th is for what? The table header. So that's what we're going to do now. Tr tag. So student name, grade, total marks obtained. Okay. So the next step now is for us to add the details. So trying to close this. Hmm, automatically close. So I remove this one. So now basically it's just a basic table now. Student name, John Doe, grade 10, total marks 100, marks obtained 85. So now I'm going to add another row here of another student. You can see I'll add another row. Let me add another row here. So to add another row, all I need to do is to what? Add another tr tag. TR means row. So I've added another row here. This is the second row. Emily Davis. So I refresh the page. What am I going to see? Emily Davis. 10, 10, 100, 100. These are their marks. I don't know if it's making them. Can you please can you drop a message if this makes sense? If you're understanding this, what I just did here. Okay. Okay. Does it make sense to okay, it makes sense. So now this is just so if I want to add more if I want to add more rows or add more students, I can add another role again. Yeah. I'm going to put another role here. Call it Sam Brown. So save it here. Save it here and refresh. This is Sam Brown. 10 year, 10 year. So like that, like that. Like that, like that. That's how we're going to create a table. So I just applied everything here, you know. Okay, I just applied everything here. So now I'm going to remove the CSS out, the styling out. I've commented it out. So now let's look at it without the styling. How does it look like without the styling? Can look see it looks ugly. I've removed the CSS already. So this is what the table looks like without the CSS. Doesn't look nice, you know. So this is what the basic table. So right now I'm going to add another row again here. I'm adding another row again here. Okay, okay. So I'm gonna do a quick recap again before we move to the next step. So for those that don't understand, please kindly listen. It's not complicated. It's very simple. It's simple like ABC. So I'm going to start, just going to drop something down. So it's very easy. It's not complicated. So now, yes, without the CSS, that's how the table is going to look. Without the CSS, that's how the table is going to look, you know? So, so now I'll remove the CSS now. So I'm going to do a quick recap. So what I'm saying was that, so what I'm saying was that we have we started with the headers. The header is responsible for keeping the links on this page. Yeah. You know, all what you need to do for you to understand is to practice. You can follow what is in the course notes. Yeah, we can follow what's in the course notes here, where we have the product, the price, the book. You can follow the steps, copy and paste it in your Visual Studio Code and refresh it and open the page on the browser. You'll see what I'm explaining. It's very easy. It's not as simple as ABC. It's not complicated. So this is the header where we kept the links, which is showing here. This is the header. And this was what? This was a section called our service. So this is a section called our service. This is a section called our service. Then for the tables, we did another section for tables separately. This is table separately, where we added the columns, which is always the columns is always inside the th head. The columns is always inside the th head. That's where it's always inside the th head. So these are the columns here. So now the next step is what? Is to add the rows. We have, how many rows we have here? 1, 2, 3. So I'm going to add another row here again under Sam. After Sam Brown, I'm going to add another row here again. So I want to add another role again, James Smith. So by the time so right now I've added another role of a student name called James Smith. So I'm going to refresh the page. We have James Smith right here. This is James Smith. So we now have 4 rows and 4 columns. So now we are done with tables. Now we are moving to forms. We are moving to forms. And what do we use forms for? Form, we use it to collect data, or we use it to collect input from a user. When a user visits your website, you want to like a contact us, they can fill a form and drop in their request. So, and what makes up, for example, now we want to create a form. The first step for us is to do what? So now, I don't want them to mix together. So I'm going to create another section for forms here. So inside this section here was for, let's create, this is a table section. Let me add this table inside the section here. Section for tables. Close the tag inside here, section. So I'll put here H2, the subheading. Table. So the next section I'm going to create now is for forms. And in the last class, I said something about BR tags. In the last class, I said something about BR tags. Who can remember what I said about what BR tags are used for? Or yes, no, not for breaking pages, for breaking spaces. For Steven is for breaking spaces. So yes, or to break a line. Yes, Chego, that's correct. To break a line. Yes, James, that's correct. To break a line. So now I'm using this BR tag here. So I want to break a line. So I want to break like 4 lines right here. So this section now is for the forms. So I will do everything concerning forms. Where we do everything concerning forms. So just concentrate on only this area for forms alone. So so in the notes we have like, okay, we have common form elements like inputs, we have labels. What do we have? We have text areas, select. So we are going to actually apply all these things. So please pay attention. Pay attention, please, when I'm going to apply all this. Pay attention. So now I'm just going to copy this guy, what we have here. You know, I said, for you to understand this thing, you have to practice, you have to read. So not just reading the notes. So every code you see in the notes, you can just simply copy them and paste it into the Visual Studio Code or any of your editors and save it, then open it on your browser, be able to see what is it for. You get? You can be able to see what is used for. From there, you get understanding. If you don't practice, you won't get understanding. That's just it. Yeah, or if you don't look at it, or if you don't go through it, it takes time to understand. So you have to spend that time. So if you don't put in the time, you're not going to get it. So I'm going to explain this one by one now. So for this form, to create a form, we need an open tag and a close tag. And this action here, is for submitting the data to the backend. This action button is for what? It's for submitting the data to the backend. Like for example, when the user put in their name, put in their details, this action here is submitted to the backend. So you can either use your Python, PHP, JavaScript, .NET to capture that data at the backend and save it into the database. That's when we make use of these forms to capture that. So we're starting with input. So which we have added here already. This is an input here already. This is input. Let me put comments here. Input. And this is for what? This is for what? Label. Label. So, and for the input, we have different types of input. We have text, we have submit. Submit will create a button for you. There are different ways we can create buttons. You know. But let's keep on going. Let's keep on following the notes. So we have what? Text area. Text area is in a process whereby you want to type in like a long description of something. You want to describe something. Then we have select. Select is for like a drop down. So select is for like, is like what? A drop down. For drop down. So we have different types. I can also add here for input type. Okay, let me just finish with the basics. Let me just finish with the basics. Then for the form submission, like I said, we have two different. We can use the button tag, or we can use the input type called submit. So add button. So now we're going to refresh the page to see what we have right here. Refresh. So the reason why the form is looking ugly is because we don't have CSS. That is why it's looking ugly. You can see it's just a basic form. Name, United States, submit, clear. So you can see the two types of button we have. You can use the submit, you can use clear. So can somebody give me an idea? Johnson, what colors are you seeing, please? Can you tell me the colors you're seeing? Because there's no CSS yet. We don't have any CSS. What we are seeing is the default color of the HTML tags. Okay, on the code. No, we don't have any colors. Sorry, it's just the way I designed. This is just where the notepad is. So it makes it colorful while you are typing the code. So it doesn't look boring. Doesn't look boring. So someone should give me an idea. What kind of form should we create? We should create, what kind of form should we create? What form do you want me to create? What type of form do you want me to create? Okay, I'll go with the student input form. Or okay, let me do a registration form. Okay, let me do a student registration form. Yeah, so we're going to build a student registration form. Let's go there right now. So before we come to this, putting it all to, before we come into this multi-page site. Oh, I mean, sorry, we are going with student registration already. So we're going with student registration. So I just want us to, is it, so I just want us to have an idea of how to create forms, because on the form aspect, you can put in you can use form to collect any information you want to collect, or any form of data you want to collect, like for data collection, you know, you can use any form of that. So we're going to create, yes, I think the class is recording live on, the class is recording live, so you can actually still go back to YouTube to access the videos. So so now the form, um I'll add another, I'll put another break line here, putting another break line here. Um Student registration form. So I'm going to take this one by one, one by one, one by one. So like I explained, we have label. Label is for naming the name of your field, the field on your form. And we have types of inputs. We have the text, we have the email, we have telephone number, we call it tel. We have the date, we call it date. So I'm using VS Code, which is Visual Studio Code. That's what I'm using. You can see without the CSS, everything looks very ugly. Everything looks very ugly. So let me save this. It's going to look ugly. So right now, I'm going to do something here. You can see that this field is not properly arranged. So I'm going to use HTML to arrange it, and I want you to pay attention. We are starting with the full name, and we are starting with full name, first of all. So we'll go into the code and look at full name tag. So since you are not using CSS, okay, let me show you something just with CSS, how it's going to look with CSS. But that will be next class. That's going to be our next class on introduction to CSS. But it's going to look boring if it's not properly beautified, or if it's not properly beautified. So I'll just quickly add like a quick CSS. You can see here in my comments, I wrote CSS up here. That means this is where I'll be putting my CSS files, putting them here. Then come now and refresh this. You can see how beautiful they look. Drop down, submit button, clear button. But you can see the student registration form. It looks so beautiful. The name, email address, phone number, date of birth, the gender, can submit also. Select the course. You can see how beautiful it is. So don't worry. Yes, CSS is a makeup for web page. That's correct. Okay. CSS is like a makeup for the web page. So now I'm going to remove the CSS now, and because that what we'll be doing next, from next week. Next week is not going to be boring HTML structure. Okay, I mean, you're talking about how do we get data directly into an Excel sheet? Okay, that's more of you can use JavaScript, you can use Python to achieve that at the back end. Or you can use JavaScript, yes, you can use, that's where the back end comes in. All those data being submitted here can be collected at the back end and put into an Excel sheet. That's why I said if you did the if you participated in the Python bootcamp, it will be easier for you to do advanced stuff, to do advanced things. So right now, let me remove the CSS. So let me remove the CSS right now because it's not part of today's class. But I just want you to see, I don't want it to look boring because me just typing this, it will look so boring. And so we are back to this now. So now I'm just going to use normal HTML to arrange this student registration form so it can be properly visible. So right here, I can use the break tag or the paragraph tag. But right here, I'm going to use the paragraph tag. So I'll open a P tag up here. Then I'll put a P tag down here. Then another P tag again. Then another P tag below to close it. Just like that, I'll keep on adding the P tags so that it's going to be properly arranged. You can see the P tags I've added. Full name, email address, they are now on a different line. It's not more together. So let me apply it to the remaining. Let me apply it to the remaining. See now they are all arranged now. So it's still kind of feel like this. If you use the BR tag, it won't be on the same line. If you use the BR tag, it won't be on the same line. So we can use, but it's more advisable to use the P tag for it. than using the BR tag. So you can see they are properly arranged. So you see we have different types of text field. We have text field for correcting normal details, like the email address, for phone numbers, for date of birth, you know. So this is happening because of HTML5. Because the reason why this date box is popping up is because of in the text field here, I wrote dates. Right here, I wrote input type dates. So dates, we have the dates, we have this type is for what? Tel. Tel means for telephone numbers. So we have dates, we have email, we have text. So so what I'm going to do, the assignment I'm going to give everyone is towards the ending of this class. I will give an assignment just to study and reflect on what we've done. So I'm going to add like this student registration form. I'm going to add it into the notes because I know the student registration form is not there. So I want everybody to copy it from the notes and paste it into your VS Code to have a feel on how it's going to have a look or feel on how it's going to work. To have a look or feel on how it's going to work. So basically, this is how we create the form. Yeah, everyone has access to the notes already. So what I'm saying is just that I'm going to update the notes. So for the homework, it's just going to be study, just to practice what is being taught in class. So I'm going to share this code we used here. So I want everybody to go and try it on their own to see how it works. So have a look and feel, because the more you practice, the more you'll be able to get better understanding of, not be able to get more better understanding. But if you don't practice, you wouldn't get understand. You would not get understanding, and everything will be like um will not look straightforward. Will not look straightforward. So let me continue. So you can see this is the basic form here. We can put in our name. So now let's go to the next step. So the next step now is to create a multi-page website that has home, about, contacts. So we're going to follow those steps now. I think, thank God, okay, it's already in our notes. So I'm just going to do more of like a copy and paste because I've already explained most of all these things already. So we're going to explain, I'm just going to explain everything word for word as I'm copying them, you know. So we're going to create, okay, now let me create a new folder, a new folder, a new folder called multi-page, multi-page. So a new file. Mhm. So where we start from, okay. So we're going to start with the structure. So, okay, no, this is not, okay. Yeah, so the step, set up the structure of the folder. Okay, yes. So for the home page, we'll create the index.html, which I've created here already. Okay, for this not to look confusing, let me close. Oh, is it okay? Let me do this. folder one and everyone inside. I just want it to be fresh to see what we creating. So I'm going to create a new folder called multi-page. Multi-page. So inside the multi-page folder, we are creating a new file called index.html. Index.html. So so we are creating index.html. So what's the next page we are creating again? Next page we are creating is called about.html. About.html is the next we're creating. About.html. About.html. The next one we are creating is what's called, let me check. Contact.html. Yes, contact.html. So now we've created the pages already. So the next step is to work. We are starting with the index.html. So on our index.html, that's going to be our home page. So I'm copying this. I'm copying this. Yeah. No, sorry, that's a mistake. I mean, in the index.html. Yeah. Yeah. So this will be our home page. So let's look at the page. Okay. I'll go to the so this. So this is the home page, like has been explained here. So which is on the home page, we have to use the header tag and the H1 tag. Okay, header for the section with a site title and navigation links, this is what we did here. This is an header with a title and navigation links. Nav is for navigation and the paragraph here. So the next page is the about. On the about page, they say we should create a section, okay, about ourselves or the business. So about ourselves. So we'll copy this too for the about page. I know we did something like this similar last week. So I'm going to about, paste it. Now, if you refresh this, if I click on the about page, it should direct me there. If I click on home, it should take me back there. About home. About home. So now the reason why it's looking ugly is because there's no CSS involved in this. We don't have any CSS involved. So then the next, if you click on contact, the contact is actually blank because we don't have anything there. So let's copy the one for contact page. In the contact page, now the contact page, we can use a form here. The contact page, we need to create like a form to collect information, like the information we want to collect. So I click on contact now. So this is what we have on the contact side. We have the home, about. So now because we don't have CSS, so we just apply the P tag to break them down so they can be properly arranged. So I'm just going to add the P tag. You can see in the text area is used for typing the message. That's what the text area is used for. You can use it for description, messages. You can use it for that. So save it here and refresh the page. See, it's arranged now. You can see it's arranged. So which we've done already. So next week we're going to talk about CSS, and we're going to talk about how the HTML is going to be built, how we're going to style our pages, the look and feel. You can see right now everything looks so boring. Yeah, it looks so boring. It looks so boring. Everything looks so boring right now. It's so boring and dry. Yes, we can do that with the help of CSS. We can make it to be centralized with the help of CSS. So that the CSS will actually help you with the beautification on how you want the site to feel like, look like. So now for the assignment, I'm going to update the notes for the assignment. I want you to practice the registration form, only just creating the registration form. I'm going to drop in the code for the registration form so we can all have um a feel a look and feel of it. Uh, yeah, to add an image, you use an SRC image. You use an IMG. Okay, I will show you that on how you can add an image, but I want to add the registration form for, for the assignment. I'm going to add that for the assignment. So by the time you check your registration forms have been updated for the assignment. So what next? So I think that's all we have for today. So I'm going to update the note very soon now and add the HTML form. I want you to go and practice on your own copy, type it out in a Visual Studio Code, save it, and open it in your browser. You get much more understanding on how you can create a form. Thank you very much. We have come to an end to the session. Thank you, Matthew. So if you have any other questions, please let me know. Okay, you're all welcome. You're welcome. So the assignment now is to what? Is to go and practice. I'm going to update the note. So I want everybody to practice the student registration form because that one covers mostly on how a form should look like, what and what is meant to be part of a form, all those things. It contains all those things there, right there. So, so everything is more about practicing. It's not just about you looking, it's more about practicing. So if you can practice, the more you practice, the more you'll be able to get much more understanding. So by the time you check the note, okay, let me now quickly add up the assignment. So towards the ending of week 2, you will find the assignment of so I want you to practice it, practice, practice. Because the more you do, the more you understand. That's all about. The more you do, the more you understand. So now I've added the assignment there. So you're all going to go and practice, 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 practice. It's more about practicing. You know, if you practice one thing for like 5 times, it will stick in. So we have come to the end of this class right now. The session for today has come to an end. So see everyone next week. So the assignments can be found on the notes. So I'm going to add the code. I've added the code there already, but I would just want you all to go and practice it, you know, copy and paste the code, practice it. By the time you practice it and you save it on your system, you understand the look and feel, then also try to create errors too with it. Try to scatter what you're practicing, remove some things remove some things hard, then you'll be able to the code is already the code for the student registration form is already in the note already. So if you have the link to the notes, you will see it there already. It has been pasted there already. So I've pasted it there already. So don't worry, you'll find it there. Thank you, everyone. Till next class. Bye.